This season finale was epic, and this season finale was a lot better, and it was a lot better done than season one season finale. With the first few minutes, I was wrong with my prediction for episode 11 and 12 during that review that I posted last night. So apparently, Unalak didn't become fused. He didn't fuse with Rava in the first few minutes like I thought, and Korra ends up flinging him back outside the portal using her airbending, which I thought was just freaking hilarious. Like that nigga went flying. But so she ends up telling Bolin and Mako to hold him off, and they end up fighting Eska and Deska, and Eska and Deska end up capturing, well, not really capturing them, but sealing them in ice. In which, let me talk about Eska and Deska for a second. They finally do turn against their father. I told you that it was pretty much coming. They're gonna be good guys now. They realize how much of a monster their father is after he ends up fusing with Rava, and he becomes the Dark Avatar and everything, and he grows to be this giant size after fighting Korra, which, by the way, the animation was pretty good in this thing. I mean, like I've been saying all season long, the writers, the animators, everyone's been stepping up this season, and I'm glad to see it. It was a freaking epic battle with Korra and Unalak, or should I say the Dark Avatar. Will I, do I think it's on the level of Aang and the Fire Lord's fight? That remains to be seen, because I'm gonna watch it again, so that, because it was pretty late when I watched it, but I'm gonna watch it again just to see if I still feel the same way. Just to see how I feel about that. And let me talk about Tenzin and his family. So they go searching for Jinora, and they end up stumbling on to the spirit, because they needed a spirit guide and everything, because they were completely lost. Again, Boomy here with a few funny moments here and there. Again, comedy has always been the show's strong suit. So they end up wandering onto this spirit, which ends up being a spider-looking thing. So Tenzin and his family end up stumbling onto Iroh while they're in the spirit world, and he ends up telling them that they should just go back because there's a lot of dark spirits and stuff in there, yada yada. And what Iroh tells Tenzin ends up giving Tenzin an idea about where Jinora is, which would be the Fog of Spirits, which is supposed to be sort of like a prison, in which the whole place is covered in fog, and you end up hallucinating and stuff. We get to see, I guess this is one of the Fire Lord's people in the fog while they're in the fog. And what I'm finally happy for is the fact that Tenzin finally stops trying to walk in Aang's footsteps. Stop trying to be the person that he thought his father wanted him to be, and just to be him, to rely on him and what he is good for. And lesson that he learns while in the Fog of Spirits, he ends up helping Korra out, but the Light Spirit ends up getting destroyed by Rava and Unalak. And so that whole connection with the past avatars is now gone. Even by the end of the episode, it's now gone. So if they do another Avatar after Avatar Korra, after the Legend of Korra, the only spiritual guide that Avatar is gonna have is Korra, and that's gonna be really interesting to see if they do decide to do another series after this, because the only spiritual guide left is Korra. They took everyone out, even up to the first Avatar, Avatar 1. And I almost thought that even, somehow her bending would be lost again or something. But yeah, I love the fact that they did this, because I think it would make for a few interesting things to come for a new season or a new series down the line. After Tenzin really goes through that whole realization thing, after the fog of spirits, he gets everyone out, his family, and Jinori gets everyone out, meets up with Korra after she's been defeated, and Rava ends up going, well, Unalaq and Rava, the Dark Avatar, ends up going into the real world, well, the regular world, and ends up wreaking havoc on Republic City as this big giant red monster thing. And so he ends up, well, when I'm talking about he, of course I'm talking about Tenzin, but Tenzin ends up showing Korra to the Tree of Time Rava was where Rava was in prison for so many years. And so Korra ends up, because he tells Korra to start relying on herself, start being her, because just because Vatu is gone doesn't mean that she's still not her. It's it doesn't mean that she's still not the Avatar. Like Vatu, just because Vatu is gone doesn't mean that she is not the Avatar. She cannot do anything right now. And that's basically what Tenzin tells her, and so she ends up meditating and finding her spiritual guide within herself, and she ends up becoming this giant blue figure, and she ends up taking Unalaq. Which reminds me, the way that Korra ends up defeating Unalaq in this, it's another cop out. It's another Deus Ex Machina. Not as necessarily as bad as last season's, but the whole thing with Chinora's spirit, she ends up going away and helping Korra at the end before Korra is about to be sealed away by the Dark Avatar Unalaq at this point, and she goes down and she's in this aura of light that you see in this picture right here. She goes down and she saves her from basically being sealed, and Tenzin tells her to see the light in the dark, to try to find the light in the dark, and so she finds the light in Vatu, and she basically ends up being able to seal Unalaq away and save the day. Just how I mean, it's not as bad as last season's, thank God, but yeah, that the conclusion to this battle, I don't know how I feel about that. I think it's sort of a cop out. Not as bad as last time, not exactly a Deus Ex Machina, but yeah, really, like, this is a little girl. She doesn't know that much about the spiritual side of things. So how is she able to tell all those things about the spirits? Like I said, I don't want to spoil too much, but yeah, that was kind of crazy. Jinora just comes out of nowhere and saves the day. Yeah, only in The Legend of Korra. By the end of the episode, Korra ends up deciding to keep the portals open after she realizes that, maybe Unalaq was right. That maybe the spiritual world and, the regular world need to be together. That maybe Avatar 1 made a mistake for closing the portals and everything. So she makes this conscious decision to keep the portals open. So I'm also sort of curious to see how this spiritual thing, if all the spirits are, flying around now in both the regular world and the spiritual world. I'm just curious to see how they're gonna tie that in, if they do tie that in to season 3. If they do a season 3, which I'm pretty sure by this point they've decided to do a season 3. But also by the end of the episode, Mako and Korra are officially done. I saw this coming also. I think everyone saw this coming. So yeah, that's pretty much all that happened for the finale. The finale was great. Definitely better than last season's finale. I'm not sure how I'll stack that up to the original's final battle. But yeah, this is a pretty good season. Overall, I think that the finale was great. Both episodes were good. Again, I didn't okay, just for the record, I didn't talk about everything that happened because I want you guys to go see it. And also, like I said, this really isn't a sort of review, it's really just my reaction. So let me know what you guys thought about the finale, and I'll see you guys later. Cindy saying out. Peace.